to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. Oh look, the little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kane prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and rain sound. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. I'm a failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken off my head. Kaine couldn't meet Demo. Leering gaze, she lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of an old meat on her breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upwards. She tried to turn away, but it forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on guys, let's give the freak what she deserves. Soon as Dino finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused and still grinning as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows who you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare, weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and nowhere to go home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village, the children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her entire world. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare to open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled upon the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see the blood welling from the spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped to the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for a breath for a moment, she finally spoke with a thick voice thick with rage. Hush like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my kid again, never touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse. I'll throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crashed down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted it back and forth. Ow, he screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it, what are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with the rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for the stupid. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backwards and spat on the ground. Get out, leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned to tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked one single laugh. Ah, look at the fuck boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned to Kaine. Kneeling down, removed the shawl and placed her hands on the young girl's shoulders, and then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting out the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that. The words from her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be too nice. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve anything. Nothing matters at anyone. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hand on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age... What? Advanced age? That's a weird term. Damn, when is the game gonna start? Bro, this game did this for like an hour beforehand, man. It just happens. Advanced stage to diminutive size. She was a woman of surprising strength, and Kane found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep, flows between the realms of the world and the next. It's fuck, they're calling her old, yeah. Next, and the grants no mercy. Any that attempts crossing, you got a duty to fight until your last breath. You understand? The old woman tightened her grip and then tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, kinda? You know, because you survived it. As the words hit, I can't say nothing. The game that I loved took months to complete. What? Which game are you talking about? As the words kind of struck by force of her love of the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother. And now that her parents had died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as her kinda called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence. And their few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had closer. How to check if a song is copyrighted? Remember, you click on the description, and if the song shows up as a little square, then it's copyrighted. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud, with tears, blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all of these things, and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Did I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not, don't be an ass. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal and Mum and Dad wouldn't... Shush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my own granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers around Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend those flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made these for me? But I've yet to see a song without it being... that means they're all copyrighted. Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one. And yet, her grandma had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched one of the wreaths, as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? I stumbled on them, just while I was out doing shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than what she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down these flowers using the construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother, as she squinted. These old hands have trouble with delicate work. But sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool with the thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. The grandmother smiled. You're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. As long as we got each other, we'll just be fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hands in hers, and took two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke drifting away from the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, and watching it spinning lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced, when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's against us or against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane into the cloud sky. The last faint hints of rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. How much writing is this? Oh my fucking god. There's up to E endings. There's A, B, C, D, E. I'm gonna be here for a while. I know if you're gonna read this much, I can slab my school novel and I need to read. Yeah, if you got something you need to read. Hold up. Yeah, this is an hour long. We're gonna be here for a while. In the distance, Kane heard steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality. Fuck no. I'ma be here. You can leave the stream, but I need an hour to burn, because we got 24 hours, we've got 12 hours to go. Purposeful quality to it. Unless you want to follow. As if she was hearing her master's woodman go about to work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as it could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung around about a barren yard with wild abandon. She was trying to stack such wood, would probably die from frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kane's grandmother flailed away with the axe. Well, read the title, bruh. Read the title. Filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma called Kane. Not Kanye. That you, Kane. Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood. Too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought down the axe on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kane, close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, "Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something." The axe poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in the middle of the air. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment and then smiled. "Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and then take over so I can get some water? Shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of those bastards." Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up the long pole and wooden buckets on either end. I'm right now speeding up reading so that I don't have to be here for another hour. Gathering water was by far the most difficult of the two jobs, but Kane knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kane did her best to help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that required every travel to the village. She had a long list of possible excuses. Kane knew her real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kane moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence in a good distance from the Eyrie. Out of sight, out of mind seemed the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but two of them could found the rocky acre of land they called home. Kane enjoyed the solitude, but harbored the secret resentment for and her grandmother was forced to spend their golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kane turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood in her life, as soon discovered why the old man hated the chore. Swing after swing, the axe produced only tiny cracks in the wood, and then finally managed to connect with a solid strike. The tool embedded itself in the log and refuses to budge. Frustrated, Kane swung the axe around her head and then threw it on the log across the yard. Damn it! Ah, crap! She suddenly understood the joy of her grandma. It felt in a good curse. Happy now, she picked up the axe and then forced it down and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kane redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned to the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took a look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandma suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of her buckets to wobble precariously. Her eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and then ran to her grandma's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed tremblingly at her finger to the bucket. Get the bucket, I can't let it spill! Kaine studied the bucket with her foot, and then she knelt to her grandma with a small bit of water. She sloshed over the side and made a new home in her ham... New home in the hem of her dress. But Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandma by the shoulders and shook her. After the moment, the woman batted her eyes at Kaine away. Stop that, just stop that! She cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. I'm just tired from the trip, that's all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but then one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words could. Yeah, her grandma had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill had finally come due. The time her grandmother watched over Kaine was an ending, sooner than either of them had feared. The positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine would come to her side and her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick. Don't you need medicine? I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandma fixed her with the gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed like an eternity, she had finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched Kaine strap her boots and made her way down to the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark, rainy sky, she was watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes, making sure the money and her grandma gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure that she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or even worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. All the few adults she could see glanced side eyes at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before sinking away at the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted all these words to herself, and then she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled and rounded to an older woman who had angrily waving her arms in the air, telling everyone who would listen what Kaine's presence. Hey lady, said Kaine, bravado she did not feel. What's the apothecary? The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewilderment. How dare this thing speak to me? They seemed to say, but Kaine saw her eyes held a different emotion, fear. Oh, this is what the thing is. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to the right, hitching up the stray, stumbling off in another direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying at her head from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary, but then the new emotion had little time to take root. For as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the door. It was Demo. He clearly had been sent here on some kind of family errand, and because of his gang, his followers, no one to be found. Oh my god, he exploded. I mean, what are you doing here, freak? The insult delivered without force. Kaine happily ignored it, stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter. She asked the shopkeeper for medication. How about, that oldie bitch finally kneeled over? Go tell him, go to hell, Dina. The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head, but before he could let fly a comeback, a punch of the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, crushing Kaine beneath his breath, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking out a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled with cramped store, each with a label written in stone, indecipherable language, an ocean of amorous. My mouth is getting tired, holy shit. Aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. On the far wall, behind the counter, rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained a bright, vibrant colors. Cool magic had being fade to beauty. The work, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Can't I turn his hip off? I can't keep going like this. I cannot keep going like this. I don't think there's a single person watching, luckily. There isn't a single person watching. You know what that means. I can't do this, bro. This is so long. What the fuck? Why do you do this to me, Nier Replicant? Oh, and it just goes on to the next chapter. It's this long? Holy shit.
The beast approaches. Oh, I know.
What is now different? What is now different? We're still playing as him. What? Okay, let's keep playing. We got all our weapons from that section, so we can just use these ones where they do way more damage.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today.
My sword feels lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
No, it's the blade. This sword is way fucking better than all the other shit I was using at this time, man. There we go. There's so much damage now. I can't. This is literally like... oh my god, it's so much text. It's crazy. I did not expect this game to do this.
Alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Oh, hey. Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
This would actually, I wouldn't, like, if I didn't see this cutscene like a few hours ago, it'd be a bit different.
Any luck with you?
We are still...
By the way,
Yeah.
Is that
We've all heard this. We've all heard this. It'd be a lot easier to play this game if I, took a break in beforehand, but
waking from her long petrified sleep.
this is new.
Emil's unflagging kindness.
No, it isn't.
Our reunion was a happy one. We let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all. Are you kidding me?
Please try to people are tired and scared and
This is crap, and
It's okay. We can sleep.
no one slipped. You and Kaine saved us.
People are afraid of as long as right.
I remember this. Yep.
What is... We...
I remember all this. This literally happened like a few hours ago, so it's not anything new.
I didn't get much sleep that night.
Yep, no, you didn't, but you still slept in your house.
For the first time in my life, I hated Devila.
You should have kept hating her, because I don't know what the fuck happened at the end there.
First time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades.
My ass is starting to hurt. I put a pillow under the seat.
Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
Damn. This looks new.
I should apologize to Kaine and Emil, but what good would that even do? Wait.
I'm so happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better.
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was. No matter how bad things got. She gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay, can we just forget I told you about that?
Oh.
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
Like, where does this story split off?
Hey,
Oh, I kinda...
I understand you're doing this for the village.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm headed... Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You don't need to. Let Emil...
Popola,
Oh,
look,
stop.
Yeah, you're just...
It's... Oh, that...
But,
So, yes, I off the fat...
thanks. I'm really... Alright.
Nothing new here. When does the new stuff happen?
The path above the entrance to the shopping district.
How excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
Does this have the part of... This is pre all those little stones, right? This is right before that. I have to do all those again.
Hey!
Hey,
Sure have. Apparently I did a pretty good job.
Oh.
Thanks. Any
Ah, you're gonna have to die again.
Oh. The Lost Shrine's up.
as well.
Let us...
What? We have to go through this again. Is that a bug's fucking poly? Is that bugged? Yeah, that is a bug. Okay. Yeah, we've been here like a million times, bro. This is like our 5th time here, bro. I am gonna do a bit of research right now. And depending on what Google tells me about this game, I'm going to end stream. How many endings to Nier Replicant? Here are 4 endings. 5 in its remake. Ending B. Load the save file, you'll be given an option. This is so it's still just the same game, but you now have Kaine's story and even Emil's. Ending C. You must finish this playthrough while obtaining all 33 weapons in the game. This includes the weapons bought in the quest. Blah blah blah. So ending 3, you have to do that again. Ending D deletes all your save file. And ending E you can finally play as Kaine. That will take so fucking long. And most of it is boring because we've already done it. If I am to do it, the way I see it is that I would do it in another stream. And nobody is here right now, which means I will make the announcement to my Discord on why I have ended the stream early. But from here, if you're watching the VOD, you can understand I am going to no longer finish this game from this point on. At least I'm not going to play any more of the game from this stream. I may play this game again, but it's going to be a few weeks from now after I have forgotten a lot of the elements of the story, so I don't have to replay every single fucking thing again. But as it is now, that's a great game. I think Nier Replicant, as it is now, as much as I have experienced it, it is like a 9.6 out of 10. But knowing the Nier games, if I do up to ending E, I will probably bump that up a lot more. But I feel like those should be experienced as a whole and as intended instead of as a force, instead of forcing that experience in. And I will no longer continue the stream. I may stream later today, but it is the end of the stream here. It is no longer a 24-hour stream. I'm so sorry I have done that, but I cannot stream this game any longer. And so this is no longer a 24-hour stream. I'm taking off the tag. I'm so sorry. I can't do that. And I will end the stream. I may stream later today anyways. But yeah, I'll announce on my Discord that I'm done with this game for a bit, and I'll come back tomorrow. I'm sorry to the viewer that just came in, but you have now. If you read the title has now changed. I'm no longer playing this game, and I'm gonna end the stream now, 12 hours in, because holy fuck, I cannot do up to 5 endings right now and replay the whole game after I just did. That is a bit much. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you probably later today. I'm probably just going to stream later today anyways. Chuck a follow if you're the guy watching, and if you're the guy watching is someone who has been here the whole time, then type in chat. But if you aren't, see you later today. Bye bye.